Hi, it's Bruce. Okay, I'm here to talk to you about two things today. First, if you want to be the best beekeeper that you can be, if you want to get into this hobby in a sustainable way where you not only enjoy the benefits that you get from these creatures, you get your wax, your propolis, your honey, bee sting therapy, but you get the satisfaction of working with these amazing creatures, and they're kind of troubled, so this is really worthwhile too. All right, if that's what you want, I've got the way forward for you. Secondly, splitting bees in December? Are we crazy? Is that possible? Well, stick around. I think this is going to be an interesting one.
I'm going to take this box down to 2, and we'll take some things at the top that have honey. I'm going to shake my fingers these in. Try to find the queen.
So would these be your bees?
Yes.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
All right, bright sunny Florida day. This is a little bit dangerous out here. I'm going to try it. I did another round of mite treatments this morning. The bees are still kind of mad at me. Amazing how they stay mad for about a day. They remember me and they're mad at me for about a day. Then after that, they forgive me and I move on. Anyway, what are we talking about today? All right, so first of all, to be that sustainable beekeeper I was talking about, the way to do that is to get knowledge before you get bees, all right? Now, there's a few ways you can do that. You can take classes. There's some excellent classes out there, and I urge you to take advantage of that. It's invaluable. But along with training, you also need to interact with other beekeepers, to talk to them, to hear their stories, to ask them how they did this or that. The best way to do that is to join a bee club. Now, I've talked a lot about my bee club, and it's an excellent one. There's some wonderful bee clubs out there that if you find you should join one. If you don't have one in your area, you should try and approach the beekeepers around and see if you can get them to start up a bee club. But what we do in our bee club, this is the South Brevard Beekeepers. We are all about spreading knowledge of this hobby of beekeeping. We're about helping people get started, helping people learn and do things as they go along. So in order to do that, we have a monthly educational meeting. We talk on various topics. We also have a community apiary where several of us keep our bees, and we'll get together and we'll allow people to come in and get hands-on experience working on the bees, okay? We do build days to help people keep their costs down by building their own equipment and stuff. But the biggest thing, I should say maybe not the biggest, but one of the most important things that we do is when we have a new beekeeper, when we have somebody interested in this hobby, if they'll come to our meetings, there's no dues, but we'll bring them to our meetings. We'll get them out to the apiary. We'll put a veil on them, let them put their hands on their bees and watch us work on the bees and what we do on managing them. If somebody is willing to attend and do that, we'll give them their first set of bees, okay? We don't charge. Now that's kind of huge, really. A lot of places you deal with the packages and those are just bees thrown together, and a lot of times they'll leave. If you want to get bees, the best way to do is to get a nuke box. That's a nucleus colony. It's a 5-frame colony with a mated queen who's laying eggs and the workers brood and all the things she needs, okay? In this area, a nuke box, a 5-frame nuke box full of bees, it costs about $180, okay? We give those bees to our people for free. Okay. So today, This is a nice sunny December day, and we're going to split bees so that Dustin can get his first set of bees. Now, a regular split is not rocket science. It's a really simple formula. The best way is to take a 5-frame nuke box and put in 3 frames of food. That's either capped or uncapped honey, either honey or nectar. And then you want 2 frames of brood, capped and uncapped. You want eggs in there. You want young force that's going to come out and replenish that hive. And you give them a mated queen. Okay, that's the very best, most basic split, and it's almost guaranteed success. Okay. DC is a queen breeder in our club, and he's providing the split from his own bees. So here we go. The queen. So here we go.
Right there.
Now, in this case, the queen was elusive. You know, the plan was to move 4 frames over, 3 food, one brood, find the queen, isolate her, and then add in the final brood frame, add in the new queen. Well, not add in the new queen yet, but then shake in several frames of bees to make the split more fat. And then Dustin would take the bees home. You know, we have different kinds of queens, and these queens apparently take different kinds of training. We have Houdini queens. I've had queens where you open up the beehive, you get into them, and that queen will suddenly make a hairy Houdini and fly off. Now, fortunately, they usually don't fly very far, but we do have some elusive queens out there. All right, we have ninja spy queens. I don't know where they get their training, what school they go to, but we have some queens that will disappear into the shadows and you never see them. And this is one. This elusive queen here, she was nowhere to be found. So she had to be below the excluder. There was only 16 frames. It was an 8-frame colony, so there was 2 8-frame boxes. She had to be in one of those 2 boxes, but couldn't find her. We ended up having to use the shaker box, and we shook a lot of bees through it. Never did find her, but it's all right. DC has more queens banked. We put that hive together. We'll go back in a few days and see if there's fresh eggs in there. And if there's fresh eggs, the queen is there and all is fine. If not, DC is already committed. He's got a queen in the bank that he can use to put a new queen back in there if necessary. There's a lot of bees flying around, but they're not really stinging. They're pretty good. They're excited. You know, there was some honey harvested from the yard earlier, so there's a lot of bees flying for that. It kicked in some robbing, so there's some bees looking for the opportunity to steal somebody else's honey here, but they're not really stinging. They're not being bad. Okay. Mercy. Mercy. So here in Florida, we don't have much of winter. Let's talk about how doing splits in December like this, okay? Typically here, we get a pretty chilly week, about 1 week of February, and that's it. Right now, in my hives, there's a lot of drones in there right now. This is December, mid-December, a lot of drones in there. DC, when he's breeding queens, he's proud to have had several December queens, several Christmas queens, I should say. It's kind of cool. It's one reason that our queen bees don't typically last as long as the ones up north, is because our queens just don't get a break. they're pumping out babies all year long, and they just wear themselves out just like the worker bees do. But they do slow down a little bit in December and in the winter months. The queen will lay some fewer eggs, and when we have a few chilly days, they will kick the drones out. But right now, there's a lot of drones in these hives. I've seen so many drones here. Bees are such amazing creatures. Okay, well, now Dustin has his bees. Basically, he's packaged them up, and he's thrown them in the back of his truck. And DC gave him a queen in a cage. So what will happen here? I'm sorry I didn't get the footage of Dustin driving off with his bees. I should have done that. But what will happen here is the instructions DC gave to Dustin was to wait a couple of hours, and by then he'd have the bees established in his own backyard. And after a couple of hours, those bees, they're going to go, wait a minute, where's mama? Where's the queen? We're in trouble. There's no queen here. What are we going to do? And then he'll put the queen in her cage in between a couple of frames. Okay? You'll see, I've got other videos. If you want to see me doing that, look at some of the videos I've done on splitting bees. But basically, that candy plug in the end of the queen cage, it'll take them about 3 days, 2 days, something like that, to chew through the candy to release that queen. And so the bees in there are going to be able to smell her. They'll be able to reach through the cage bars and touch her and say, oh, we've got a queen, all right, we're happy. And then they'll let her go. And when she comes out, all should be very well. Now, if there was an accident and somehow the queen managed to come with the split to Dustin's house, well, the bees will choose a queen, and probably they'll take their old queen, and then they'll dispatch the new queen. But one way or the other, Dustin's got bees now. He's got a colony. And that, doing the kind of management that Dustin's been getting the training to do, doing the varroa mite counts and treatments and taking care of the small hive beetles and expanding when they need it. He's had training in all these things. Dustin is going to be a real good beekeeper. And this is a start of a great hobby for him. And for all of us, there's a lot of satisfaction you get from mentoring somebody and helping him out. So that's what I wanted to say. So the best way to become a beekeeper, a better beekeeper, get the training. Join a bee club and be around beekeepers. Beekeepers are great people to hang around with. They're a better class of people than your average, I think. But yeah, beekeepers will help you out. They will give you, they will go out of their way to give you what you need. It's great. The second thing is splitting bees in December. Up in the northern climates, that would be a foreign concept. It's impossible. Here, my goodness, it is a hot day here in December today. The bees are flying. Yeah. Well, the beekeeping journey does go on. So I have put a playlist up here on how-tos, on how to do certain things with beekeeping. This is a great hobby. It's sustainable. Here in Florida, it's a little bit different than it is up north, but you get such satisfaction from this hobby, from working with these creatures. And I urge you to take advantage of all that. So join a bee club and take care of some bees. This is Bruce. I hope you've enjoyed this.